Alright, hello, welcome to this weather update. Sorry, I meant to get one done sooner, but got involved with some other stuff. But it has been a very cold day leading into a very cold night, and according to the Wonderground weather station here, we have 16 degrees at Mineola tonight, which is very, very cold, especially for Thanksgiving. And I want to see if the Wonder Map will load. We'll try to load it. We've been having some trouble. Oh, good, it is working again. Awesome. So just to show you how cold it is across the area right now. Now we did not get above freezing today, and I'm going to go over some of the observations here for you in a minute. But as you can see, we have temperatures in the teens across most of the area. This is typical for what you would experience in late December and January and February, but as you can see, temperatures have dropped into the teens after reaching the upper 20s. Amazingly, we did make it to the upper 20s today, but we have light winds now and clear skies, and that's going to set the stage for some radiational cooling. And I want to go over some of the areas that will get very cold tonight. Of course, in the Pine Barrens, right around here, especially in West Hampton, it's probably going to the single digits with the radiational cooling if the wind drops. Same for west of Toms River. That has not happened yet, but I have a feeling it will by morning. So going over the conditions from the Weather Service here, we have temperatures that are again in the teens. If we look at West Hampton, I'm just curious to see if West Hampton are at 19, northwest wind at 13. So they still have the wind. That's why they're not radiational cooling yet. So 19 at West Hampton. These are the official readings, so I'd rather actually use these because these are a little more accurate versus the local weather those little weather stations. These are official readings. So 18 at Farmingdale, and look at that dew point, 0-degree dew point. So very dry air that we are dealing with here, and we'll take a look at what the high was at Farmingdale, 28 degrees, and pretty much that's what it was everywhere, with plenty of sun, a northwest wind at gusty at times, and making the wind chills at certain times feel like it was in the single digits, especially in the morning. So that was Farmingdale. Let's take a look and see. Now, pretty much the highs are going to be similar across the entire area. We'll take a look at Miller Air Park, west of Toms River, and they have a north wind at 6, so they are not radiating. They're not radiating. Dew point is 3. They're not radiating yet, but I have a feeling, like I said, they're going to start radiating once the wind drops. And there it hit 29. So amazingly, it got up that high. Even though that's way below normal, some of the models are indicating we were going to get out of the low 20s. But still, this was the second coldest Thanksgiving on record in Central Park. Second coldest Thanksgiving on record. And the coldest Thanksgiving Day parade. So definitely setting some records with the amount of cold weather we've been having. Now, let's go to Tropical Tidbits. And let's look at the models and see what's coming our way. Actually, before I do that, let's go look at the satellite imagery first. Before I do that, and you can see we've had pretty much clear skies across the area today. Maybe a few patchy cumulus clouds, but very, very few. Very few indeed. I can look at the high-resolution satellite too if we want, and see if that'll give us any more details. So let's try that. You can see we've had you can see our clear air mass right here coming out of yeah. So maybe a few little speckles of cumulus, particularly on the east end, but other than that, more or less clear skies. And then upstate is the lake effect clouds coming off, but luckily they dissipate by the time they get over the mountains. So just a beautiful clear day across our area. So let's get to the models. Even though it was cold, I know people are going to complain that it was cold, but we don't get enough of this kind of weather anymore, and whenever we get it, I appreciate it. So, even though it is unseasonably, or usually doesn't happen until December. So, we're going to look a little more at the long range here and see. So, here's that high pressure system that is going to be. We're going to have one more nice day tomorrow. I think temperatures will warm up, maybe to freezing. You're probably going to struggle to get there. And then it starts warming up dramatically Saturday, and then we get some more rain Saturday night into Sunday with a coastal storm. That moves quickly away, and then yet another storm comes in for Monday afternoon, and then when that pulls out, hopefully we can get into some more nice weather behind that. clear skies, and cool temperatures, but not as cold as it was today. More of a seasonable kind of chill. So it looks like a high pressure sits over us for a while, and then so kind of a progressive pattern. So let's go and take a look at the our area and take a look at the temperatures. See what the temperatures are going to be on the GFS. We'll just pretty much go over the GFS model. So temperatures again dropping now. We're going to go. See, this model doesn't pick up on the subtle difference. I think in the Pine Barrens, it's going to get into the single digits. But for the rest of us, probably 10 to 15 degrees above, which is still really cold. Teens is really cold for November. Very unusual. And you can see we struggle. It warms up a little more in Jersey, 35, but over Long Island, we're going to struggle to reach freezing again for tomorrow. And then finally, the cold air pulls out of here for Saturday. We get the warm air just in time for that precipitation to arrive Saturday night. So it will be rain, fortunately, not snow. And as we go into next week, you see we have temperatures warming up into the 50s a little on Sunday and Monday. However, a cold front comes through, and then that drops us into the low 40s. So we'll be back feeling cold. Not like this, but it's still going to be below normal. And again, we're going to deal with upper 30s and low 40s. So it looks like more cold weather for this week, and maybe a little bit of a recovery into Thursday, mid 40s, and stays a little below normal. So it actually goes back to being below normal again. So after a little warm up this weekend, it will go back to being below normal again. So that's always a good thing. Every time it's colder than normal, you gotta appreciate it, because in a warming world, it gets more and more rare to get the days that are below normal. So let's take a look at the skies. All right, so here we go into Friday. It looks like the skies stay clear, but the cirrus might try to make an inroads in possibly into New Jersey, maybe, but I think it should be clear tomorrow as well. And then we have plenty of clouds for Saturday. Sunday, the clouds kind of hang around a little bit, I think. And then Monday, we'll be dealing with more clouds. And then maybe Tuesday into Wednesday, maybe we have some more chances for some sunshine. So that's good. So I want to look at one of the model in regards to the clouds, and that's the NAM. And then, so let's take a look at that. So here's the NAM, and again, mostly clear for tomorrow, though I do think some clouds are going to try to come onshore when the wind shifts a little more northeasterly as the high kind of crests over us tomorrow morning. Some clouds could be blown in from the ocean over New Jersey. I think that's going to happen. But for Long Island, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Long Island will be clear, at least till the early afternoon, and then some clouds maybe start rolling in. And then Saturday, we have plenty of clouds. Let's take a look at the rain. Let's take a look at rain chances. So the warm air, fortunately, like I said, the warm air arrives. So by the time all this rain, which will be heavy at times, late Saturday night to Sunday, it will all be rain. But look at that. Looks like another heavy soaker for Saturday night to Sunday morning there, with more rain coming. So let's just want to look at the dew points. Let's go back to that dew point. Look at that. Alright, so I just want to show you again the really dry air that we have across our area. So dew points have been, like I said, single digits to a little below zero actually. And they're going to pretty much stay in that range, probably single digits tomorrow, before starting to rise on Saturday with the surge of warm air. And this shows the wind too, so that's why I wanted to use this. So you can see here, north to northeast winds for Long Island will bring us drier from overland, but unfortunately that wind direction over Jersey brings in, because the water temperature is still probably in the 50s, brings in moisture from the ocean, and that's why I think there's going to be additional cloudiness over the Jersey shore that they're not forecasting, because it's just a micro scale event, or whatever you want to say. So yeah, these wild temperature swings, I want to talk in the next part about these wild temperature swings and what it may have caused early this morning. Alright, so the thing that I want to go over in this video has to do with the Long Island Railroad, and maybe the weather played a role, but there were no storms last night. We just had a little, last night we had that little mix of snow and rain pass through as a shower, but What we have had is temperature extremes. The temperature dropped very quickly, and we don't know if this caused the problem, but what happened in this area was, according to Long Island Railroad's Twitter, there was a problem with a down power line, a high voltage sub-transmission power line, which I'm going to point out to you, in Valley Stream, that wound up falling onto the tracks and causing a fire in a substation and damaging signals and switches in various locations. So the Babylon branch, for one, has been affected by this severely and will be probably for days to come. And they're recommending using the main line. So use the main line. Right? For once the shoe is on the other foot with this. Kind of reminds me what happened with that lightning strike on the substation at New Hyde Park in that thunderstorm. But this actually is worse, and I'm going to explain to you what happened and what I think could have happened and how the weather may have played a role. Now, this power line came down in this spot right here. So this is Sattery Avenue and Sunrise Highway, and here is the Babylon line, and here is the Atlantic branch. That's the Long Beach branch right there. All right, so we're going to take a look at this area, and I'm going to show you what I think may have happened. Now, as we point out, the Babylon branch has metal poles, which should be resilient in bad weather. But what wound up happening is this wire right here. See this wire up here? These are, I believe, 34.5 kV or 33 kV sub-transmission lines that do not serve. I do not believe these serve any actual PSEG customers. This is mainly for the railroad, for their power or whatever. And these metal poles actually are very old. They're kind of rusted out, and these cross arms look like they could be in better shape, and these installations could be in better shape. Even though this is the wires look straight and everything, the infrastructure is very old. And so here is a signal bridge right here. All right, and here is another tower over here. All right, I'm going to back it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. And I'm going to explain to you what I think happened here. So here's another tower here. I don't know exactly where the line fell, but it's very possible that the sudden drop in temperature may have caused one of these insulators or something to snap on these poles, because this is all cast iron, which is very brittle when it gets cold, and I'm wondering if that could have caused this failure. And basically, these are high voltage lines that feed the Long Island Railroad, feed the power to the Long Island Railroad, and the line fell right in this spot here, and you can see there's a switch here, there are signals, and it damaged all of this stuff. So you're talking about a lot of high voltage causing a lot of damage, and it could take days, and I would not even be surprised if it takes weeks to fix this. I don't wish this on anyone, but I'll just say it is karma that this would happen on the Babylon branch, in a way, because they've been getting away with not having too many weather-related impacts, and finally caught up to them today. I do not know why that happened, but in the future, I will suggest that these cast iron poles be replaced with something more modern, because these are rusted out. Even though we love these, they are starting to rust, and these were put up these poles are so old. They have been up since the dawn of electrification on the railroad. That's how old they are. So it's not a surprise that the weather and as finally might have played a role in this situation. In the future, we really should not have. If we should have more modern steel towers, or even better yet, we shouldn't have these lines above ground to begin with. They should be underground, so this doesn't happen again, because it is causing a lot of disruption for these people. I don't wish this on anyone. There was service suspensions and very limited service in this area still, and it will impact the rush hour tomorrow. So I don't know if the weather caused this wire to snap or what, but something happened with these wires falling onto the tracks. And what probably happened is it was more than one, and when one wire touched another wire, it causes a short circuit. So it caused a lot of problems in this area. That's for sure. This isn't something I would expect, obviously. They're blaming PSEG Long Island. However, these lines, I believe, only serve the Long Island Railroad. But PSEG Long Island has been blamed for this. However, no customers were affected in this power outage in Valley Stream. It only affected the Long Island Railroad. So lastly, I'll just say those power lines are very old and they need to be replaced. Even though we like, the fact they're on metal towers that are rusting and very old could be prone to failures in this cold weather, and that's what I think may have happened. And hopefully there'll be a better report on what happened. The other thing that I do want to talk about, well, it's related to this because I want to show you these power lines, which look very similar to the power lines at Valley Stream. And these are JCP&L. This is in I guess this is a Berkeley Township, and these power lines are very old as well and need to be replaced. And actually, last time I was there, I experienced a power outage. Actually, I was sitting having dinner, and the power went out for 10 minutes. And it went out, and it tried to come back on for like a little flicker, and then it went back out again. And apparently, to what I hear, this happens all the time there. So again, you have old infrastructure that needs to be replaced. I don't know what happened with that because the weather was fine that day. It wasn't even that cold. But this old electrical infrastructure is vulnerable and needs to be replaced, no matter where it is, because you cannot, in this day and age, we cannot afford to have power outages and power lines coming down. That's going to be it for this weather update. Take care.